Hello, everybody. You're welcome to the Fixers Show. My name is Deborah Dadote. I am the delectable host of this show, all the way from Accra, Ghana, the place where God lives. And today I am so excited about today's episode. I don't know about you, but today I am excited. I'm so excited. I don't know, but I'm excited. I am so excited about what is going to happen today. I don't know about you. So if you're joining the broadcast, I want you to share the link. Invite your family, invite your friends, your single men, single women. Bring them all to the Fixer Show because it's about to go down. And today we will be talking about relationship matters. That means matters of the heart. That is what we are dealing with today. And on today's edition or episode, we would be talking about relationship. Single men or a single man above 30 and his relationship dilemma. We're going to be talking about the untold story, the story that the parts that you have not been hearing. Today, we will scatter the table today. I'm so excited. When I was speaking to my guest, Mr. Kingsley Tabifor, I was so excited. The things he was sharing with me, I was so excited. And I was like, wow, I need you to come because one of the things I love or I want to make sure happens in the Fixers Show is to get men to come on the show because a lot of people think that people venting or talking about their issues is a woman thing. Men are built to be strong. Men are built not to say what they're going on, whatever it is that is happening to them. So when you see a man wanting to talk, it gives me so much joy. And I'm just praying and hoping that as he has come, we'll have a lot more people coming. Who is greeting me? Hi, Auntie. Just let me know where you're watching me from. We are streaming from YouTube. We are streaming from Facebook as well. So let me know where you're doing. When you join, just let me know where you're joining from, what country, what nation, wherever. Because today we are about to go into something very serious. And I'm also very happy that we are going to be talking about this. It's something that people don't normally talk about. A lot of people, men are shy because when we talk about emotional stuff, men always think that being emotional is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If you have issues, why don't you vent? Men don't vent because that's how they are built. That's their nature. They are built to be strong. They are built to be protectors. They are built to be providers. They are built to be leaders. So because of that, they never want to show a sign of weakness. So whenever they are doing anything, they always want to be strong. So even when they have relationship issues, we don't get to know. But one of the things I want us to understand is when it comes to depression, anxiety, and stress, research shows that 1 in 4 women would have a depressive episode in their life. Why? Because of their physiological and psychological makeup. But the truth is, it is men that commit suicide more. And the reason why men commit suicide more is because they don't vent. I talked about the flight and the fight mode. When a man is stressed, he applies 2 principles. Either he fights, he becomes aggressive, he becomes angry, he faces the issue headlong, or he flees. So most of the time, men choose to flee than to fight, than to talk. But women, by virtue of their nature, they easily vent, they easily talk, unlike men. So me having my guest, Mr. Kingsley, let me see, he's in the back door. How come I'm not hearing you, Mr. Kingsley?
Yes, please. Are you getting me now?
I am not getting you. What's happening? Your microphone is not coming.
It's my microphone is on. It's
Are you in
unmuted.
short? Yeah, you are in short. So why am I not hearing you? I'm
My mic
seeing you, but I'm not
is
hearing you.
oh my mic is on.
Oh my God,
Oh
not
my.
now, not now, not now, not now. Oh, my village people.
Checking now. My mic is on.
I can see you, but I cannot hear you. Your voice is not coming out. Oh, somebody's watching from Denmark. Wow. Can I know who you are? You're watching from Denmark. That's interesting. I love that. I have somebody watching from Denmark. I have somebody watching from Denmark. I want people to come from all over. Single men, single guys, US, UK, Canada. It's the same problem. Everybody is saying the same, sharing the same wahala. So it's good that we come and discuss, we share ideas, we rub minds, and now look at things from another perspective, from his perspective. A lot of people would say that it may not pertain to men. It's not about whether it's pertaining to men. It's about this your story. This is your perspective. This is your experience. I will not negate your experience because it's not what is happening to another person. I would look at it from your perspective and pick cues from whatever it is you're saying in relation to what I'm going through. So, King, I'm surprised I'm not getting you.
I myself, I'm surprised. I've been trying to talk. I've been talking, but I'm surprised you're
Because
not
you're
hearing me.
speaking. So can you log off
Yeah.
and log on again? Let me see if that's the
Oh,
challenge. Yeah.
okay.
So we're having issues, a little bit of issues with our speaker or our guest speaker. My village people will never succeed. Today we will disgrace this matter. We are going to talk about single men above 30 and their relationship dilemma. And I that are going through relationship challenges, but they just would not talk. They just will not come out. They just will not speak up for fear of whatever reason. But what I normally think is that men don't want to speak because they don't want to be vulnerable. I don't know if that's the English. That's the English I'm going to use.
My voice my voice being
So, King, you're
gotten
back
now?
in short,
Is my voice being gotten now?
but I'm not getting you. I don't know if it's from my end.
It's changed because I'm with my friends in the
I'm
house,
not getting you.
and
Jesus Christ.
I'm with my friends in the house. They hear it on Facebook.
Because I'm listening to you.
Seem not to hear. Maybe you
I
should
am
put the
hearing
phone
you. No, I'm not hearing you.
Facebook, because from Facebook they can hear clearly.
I don't know if it is your network or that's the challenge. I don't know what the problem is because this is what is happening now. Wow. I can see you, but I
So
cannot
I
hear
just
you.
sent my friends are home with me. I told them about the program, and they wanted to listen to me directly, so
Because my
they can
network
hear
is
from
fine. I
Facebook.
don't know what's happening.
Please, I
It's
think you
my
should check your
network.
message. I just wrote you a message. Just check your message, and then I
Oh
wrote
my
you that you should
God.
listen to
I
me
don't know
from
what's
Facebook.
happening, whether it's from my end or from your end. Oh my God. I tested this before I came on. Oh, my friends at home are saying they can hear me on Facebook. Really? But how come
Yes,
I'm
just
not getting you?
put the Facebook on. You put the Facebook on. You will hear me.
Oh my God. Then what's the problem? They can hear you because I'm not getting you from my
You
end.
guys are
I don't
getting
know
me from
what's
Facebook,
happening.
right?
So are you getting me now? Are you
I
getting me
hear you
now?
5 on 5. I hear
You
you
can hear
five on
me.
five. I hear you. Yes, I hear you 5 on 5.
Okay, but I can. Okay, no problem. So I'm using the mic. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you 5 on 5. I can hear you.
Okay, so oh, okay, no problem. Let me. It's okay. No problem. So if you can hear me, then let's go. So you're welcome, Mr. Tabifor Kingsley, to the Fixer Show. I'm so
Thank you very
happy you
much.
could make it. I'm happy you could come and join the program. I'm so excited that you are here. Drum roll.
Yes,
It's good to have you. I'm excited. I shared a bit. You
yeah, I'm
shared with
excited
me a
too.
bit about what you are doing and what is happening, and I was so excited. And I really knew that whatever it is that you have is going to be important to
Yeah,
share so that people can hear you. And so the only
yeah.
thing I want you to do first is for you to introduce yourself, because I didn't do any introduction. The only thing I know is that you're a communications expert. So just do a brief introduction about yourself so that those who are watching you will know exactly who you are.
Okay, that's great. My name is Tabifor King. I'm above 30. I hail from the northwest region of Cameroon. Apart from being a communications expert, I'm an avid reader. I love to entertain and be entertained. I also love to participate in aspects that are going to develop human beings, be it talking to others, sharing ideas, getting people to speak, conferences, and stuff like that. So when I heard about the show, I myself, when I listened to your other episodes, and
Okay.
it was very very enriching. So when you called me up that we should come for the next edition, I was quite honored for that. Yeah.
Wow, interesting, interesting, interesting. So this is Mr. Tabifor Kingsley. He's not married. That's the first thing I want to state. He's not married. He's above 30 and he's not married. So today we are going to disgrace his matter today. He's going to tell us why at the age of 30, above 30, he's not married. Okay, so let me ask you a very, very important question. So when you were growing up, what were your aspirations?
I didn't get you clearly. If I got you well, you were asking me when I was growing up what were my aspirations. Hello, did you get me, please? Get me,
So,
please.
like when you were growing up, what were your aspirations? What did you want to achieve, or what did you want to be while you were growing up? Then I'll
Oh,
now
okay,
follow
okay.
it up with a question. If you had a blueprint for your life,
Yeah,
if you had somewhere you say, okay, at this age, I'll be this, at this stage, I'll be this, at this
yeah,
stage, I'll be this. So,
yeah.
at what points are you now? And then I could pick it up from there.
Okay, that's a great question. When I was growing up, I originally wanted to first be a doctor until I kid. We never knew the realities of our aspirations. But later on, I came to realize I'm a, I'm a very creative person and I can easily, you know, um, put ideas together. So I first of all started trying the translation path. I did A1 in school. And when I graduated. I knew I was going to do translation, so I went to do bilingual letters in the University of Yaoundé one. But along the line, I wrote the entrance into ESTIC, and at that around that period too, I gave my life to Christ, and with the baptism of the Holy Spirit, I got to begin to understand who I am, and all of that. And when I got the entrance into ASMAC, I discovered my purpose.
Okay.
People to build platforms and have exposure, telling other people's stories and stuff. And I knew that by 25 I'll be married. By 30 I'll have all my kids. I would have in my career. I knew I'll be retiring by 40, and I knew that by the age of 35, I should have already become a consultant and consulting for other companies, traveling around the world to speak to people and inspiring them. I would have already finished writing most of my books and films because I'm a good writer too. Um, yeah, that was my aspiration when I was growing up. That was what I dreamt of becoming. Yeah. So right now, it's not totally that, but at least I thank God for what I've achieved so far.
So, okay, let me ask this question, right? Um,
Yes.
did you have a blueprint? Like, we women, we say that um, at the age of 18 or at the age of 20 or at the age of 25, I should have gotten married. I should have had children. All those kind of plans that women make. And it's
Yeah.
unique to women because that is part of what is expected of us. That at a
Yeah.
certain age, you should have been married.
Yeah.
And if you are not married at a certain age, it's worrying. It begins
Yeah.
to call for concern. So I want to
Yeah.
know if you actually had a blueprint, like you had a timeline for yourself saying,
Yeah.
okay, at this stage, I should have been married by 20 or 25. I should have two kids and all those things. Did you have anything like that, of that sort for yourself?
Yes, I had that blueprint. I knew that by the time I'm 20, I should have graduated from the university. By the time I'm 21, I should have had my first job. By the time I'm 25, I should be married because I should have saved enough money to, get a wife, create a home. I knew that I will have maybe my first kid before I'm 27, second kid before I'm 29, third kid before I'm 31. And I stopped giving birth, and then I start raising my children, and I knew that by the time I'm 33, I should have started my own company. By 40, the company should have matured. And by 40, 42, I'm getting retired and, concentrate on speaking, on being a speaker, being a consultant, being a coach by that time. That was practically the blueprint that set out for myself.
So you didn't have any blueprint, you didn't have any timeline, nothing. You
Well,
didn't put
that's what
yourself
I.
within that space and say, but did you hope that at some point you will get married?
Yes, if you listen to me carefully, I said I wanted to be married by 25. I wanted to get married by 25. I had the blueprint. I just laid it out. I wanted to get married by 25, have my first kid before I'm 27,
Okay.
kids by 30, and then
Okay.
start raising them. Yeah, start raising them. So, and then I knew that by the time my first child is 15, getting to the university, I should maybe have retired from active life, and I start grooming him to take over my company, and so on. So that was the plan. That was the plan I had in mind. Actually, that was the plan.
Mm, mm. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. You had an amazing plan. Okay, so the plan you had, the timeline you had. So what's going on now? What's happening now as we are speaking? What's the situation? What's the situation report?
The situation report says that it's a one-sided achievement because I'm in my career right now. I am where I wanted to be. I knew that I'll have my first job by the time I'm 30. I had my first job when I was 20. I knew that I should have already established my company when I'm 32. I started the Bridges Corporation at 33. And I knew that I'll be retiring by 40, 42. By the grace of God, if things go the way they are going and go smoothly, I started the Bridges Corporation at 42. But when it comes to marriage, I knew that I'll be found like, no way. I'm not married. I don't have kids. So it's actually in my timeline. It's a one-sided achievement. my professional life, a lot in my career, a lot in my purpose in life. But I have not been very successful when it comes to marriage. I admit I've not been successful yet.
Okay, when it comes to relationship. Okay, so let me ask this question. Now, we are going deeper now. What would accord or what could be the reasons why at this stage of your life you have not been able to settle down? Is it that you have not found the woman of your dreams, or there's something that you need in a woman that you have not seen, or quote and unquote, you have not seen your dream woman? Let's pick it from there, then out.
Well, I think that contributes to me being single now is a constant recovery from a series of unfortunate events, um, which are diverse, ranging from cultural issues, ranging from financial issues, ranging from timelines or discorded timeline, ranging from religion, ranging also from incompatibilities. There are many ladies, and well, there are two specific ladies I met in my life, which I would say those were the girls of my dreams. But due to certain circumstances, we didn't end up together. So if I'm at this point in time, it's me having it's me having gotten to a position where I've actually um, been successful in my career. I put so much energy on my career, and the fact that I didn't have what I wanted or I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve as a woman at the time, it has made me to be a little bit focused on what I can succeed with right now. And that's made me to be a little bit focused on what I can succeed with right now.
Oh, looks like my guest is out. I don't know, network issue. So far, so good. We have been discussing with Mr. Tabifor Kingsley from Cameroon. He's a communication expert. And if you've been following the discussion so far, the last discussion we're talking about is why he's not married at above 30, and he's just listed some of the reasons why he's not been married, because it varies. Okay, so you're welcome, Mr. Tabifor Kingsley. I'm happy to have you back. Okay, what I want to say is, you have marriage in your plans, you want to marry. Oh my God, what is happening today to this network? I'm losing my mind completely. What is happening? The network is so terrible. I don't know what is happening. So you're back. Okay, so you're welcome. So
Right?
I've listened to you list a series of reasons why your relationship with ladies has not worked out, right? But
Yes.
can I ask you, at when in your relationships with these women, what would you have done better, or what did you do that could have been a reason why the relationship did not work out? Then you're gonna pick it now from the ladies' side. So I want to hear from you. These ladies that you met, that you felt were the women of your dreams. What role did you play in your part to make the relationship not to succeed? Then we are going to look at the parts where the women probably fell short, and the reason why the relationship didn't work out.
Okay. It seems the network was a bit unstable. It's trying.
Oh my gosh, This is not happening today.
Yeah. Are you getting me? Am I being heard?
It is unstable, so unstable. I don't know what's happening. It's not for my end. Yeah, I'm getting you loud and clear. You can continue.
Okay, that's perfect. All right. So if what I heard, even though the network was unstable, was you're trying to create a balance between what
I can get you,
I
so you're in
think I
shorts. You
didn't
can
do
go.
right to get my
Let me
relationships
hear you.
work.
The network is messing up. I don't know what is happening today. And I was so looking forward to this particular discussion. Oh, so like we were talking to Mr. Tabifor Kingsley. He's a communication expert. He's resident in Cameroon, and he's above 30 and he's not married. And we are trying to find out why at this stage he's not married. He's a handsome guy. He's well to do in his own level, but something is just not right. So what is not just right?
Okay.
So, Mr. Tabifor Kingsley, I want you to tell me. So, I'm trying to
Yes.
create a balance, but I want you to take part of the blame because you're not going to blame only the ladies. So, you give me
Of course.
reasons
Of
from
course.
your own
I
side
have.
to
I,
think why the
I'm part of.
relationship didn't work out.
Yeah. Okay. It will surprise you to know that one of my friends, in the course of this life, wrote me on WhatsApp, and this is what she said. She said, "I wish you could tell them that you're not to be trusted," and it was because of an incident that happened sometimes when I was younger, where I found myself in a situation where I was supposed to do a job for her, and I didn't get the job done for and that I was going to get the job done nonetheless. And I ended up doing the job later than the time, and it created a stigma in her mind where she was like, "You're not to be trusted at all." So, in spite of the fact that I acknowledged my wrong, in spite of the fact that I tried to make amends, I'd already put a stigma in her mind that I'm not to be trusted.
Mm.
That's that's one incident. The second the second thing that um, was which I take the blame for was a certain level of lack of assertiveness, in the sense that I was too conscious about the opinions of others, or I wanted the validation of others. In this, which what that did was it made me accept certain levels of influence on my life, which made me make wrong decisions of me, or based on people's conception of me, instead of me being assertive about what I want, required to get what I want. I allowed myself to be too influenced by the ideas of others, or the opinions of others, or the conceptions of others, and it made
Mm.
there were there were some at some point in my life too, in my younger ages, there was a certain level of inexperience, wherein I didn't understand certain aspects of women. I didn't understand the fact that you can never really blame a woman. You as a man have the responsibility to build yourself to be a valuable man that can lead a woman, that can direct a woman, that can keep a woman. So I got to a place where I was putting in too much blame on the lady, and I wasn't looking at my own points, like maybe my own laziness, or maybe my own irresponsibilities, or maybe my own weakness. So that pushing of blame blinded me to realize that, hey, it's a two-way traffic. You have to be building yourself while the lady is building herself so that both of you can be good partners for one another. At some other points, I allowed certain religious beliefs or religious conceptions or just doctrines to influence my relationships. And even when the ladies try to point it out and say, okay, what you are doing, you think is right, but it's not adapted for me. What you're doing, it seems to be good for you, but it's not good for me. Instead of me trying to compromise, struggling to make myself right, instead of bringing a compromise, I was trying to prove a point instead of trying to understand my partner. So it created this rift, it created this constant problem of communication, which ended up, making some of my relationships. Also, at some point, one of the things that I did that was not right was that I didn't know the kind of woman I should choose based on both where I was in life and where I was going to as well. There are some ladies that at some particular point in your life you can't get them. Maybe because they have certain standards, maybe because they have certain expectations, maybe because they have achieved, they have reached a certain level of achievement, which you maybe don't match up to that. So what that used to do was that I found myself in a situation where I'm going in for a lady who has an expectation I can't meet. I'm going in for a lady who has an exigency I can't provide. So it brought me to a position where you like the woman may like you back, but you are not exactly what she needs or what she wants. So those are some of the things I can take blame for why my relationships didn't work.
Wow. Wow. So, okay. 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 Let me look at the flip side. What did you think, or what are some of the reasons you think could be from the lady's side that made your relationship not to succeed?
Okay. When it comes to the ladies' side, the first major thing I will point out is unrealistic expectations in the sense that um, some of the ladies I came across, they had a conception in their mind about what their husband should look like. They had an image, they had a list of what they expected their husband to be like. Now,
I
I
love that.
show up,
Realistic
I
expectation.
may not have all the requirements that you have, but you don't even give me the space for us to discuss about what you want or to interact about what are some of your needs or where we can have a compromise. So I found myself in situations where I was disqualified without the lady even really knowing who I am. And there was this particular case where the lady later on in life told me that she later on realized that there were some aspects about me I was just working on. I was not there yet, but I was on my path to getting there. And if she had waited, I would have made a good spouse for her. So some ladies have unrealistic expectations, and those unrealistic expectations has to do with financial levels, status, some unreal physical attributes, all popped up in one person. It doesn't really work like that most of the time. There's the 80-20 rule. What God mostly gives you, whatever God gives you, is will be 80% of what you want, and maybe there's 20% that is not what you want. That you may either have to live by it, or you may have to be patient to work that in the person. But what most ladies do is that they hang on the 20% you don't have, to disqualify you, and then they lose the 80% of what you could give them. So that was the first major challenge I had when it comes with ladies. The second challenge I had with ladies
The
was
sin.
lack. lack of indecisiveness or not knowing what they want. There was this particular lady that I met that really didn't know what she wants. Today she wants me, today she doesn't want me. Today she's with me, and then tomorrow my pastor said, or my friend said, or my sister said this, and it affects her decision. Um, she, she she sometimes got to the point where she was like, why are you not like this other person, or why don't you do this thing? She sometimes got to the point where she was like, why are you not like this other person, or why don't you do this thing?
Oh my God, I was loving this discussion. The network just went off from Kingsley's side. Oh my God. Ladies, I hope you're hearing. That is why I said loving this discussion. The network just went off. Kingsley's side. Oh my God. Ladies, I hope you're hearing. So I'm with you, King.
So
You could go. Continue.
yeah, so as I was saying, marriage is not a community project. It's it's an agreement between two people who have decided to make their institution work. Marriage is personalized. You can't use stereotypes, or you can't use conceptions of others to build your marriage with. Who is in front of you? What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? What are my opportunities with him? And do I stand to lose? You weigh all of that based on who is in front of you, not based on preconceived ideas. So I found that challenge with her, and at some point I just had to give up. I just had to let go. The third challenge that I made was also financial expectations. There was this particular lady. I also understand her based on her background or where she came from. She absolutely wanted to marry a man that has money, or let me say, a man that is rich. She didn't want to go through the trauma of hardship and poverty. She didn't want to go through the difficulties of penury. She didn't want that. So she didn't understand the concept of the fact that a man grows and a man evolves. And she didn't understand also that the woman is the favor that comes into the man's life. It is the help of a woman that most often makes the man discover himself, that pushes something out, makes something gush out of the man to become who he is. God blesses most men after marriage, mostly for them to be able to provide for their wives, for them to be also be able to provide for their children. The most ladies don't understand that. So they have this financial expectation. I'm not saying that ladies should get married to poor guys. I'm not saying that. And besides, there's a difference between a poor guy, and there's a difference between a broke guy and a lazy guy. A broke guy is somebody that doesn't have as many opportunities that can make him rich. But a lazy guy is somebody who has the opportunities and is not seizing them to become rich. That is a marked difference. So most often, people see a guy who is broke now, who doesn't have opportunity, and think he is lazy. And that is why you hear most of the time that, oh, most guys who are poor are lazy. That's not necessarily true. So um, I'm not saying girls should go in for a poor guy, but I think that if you see a man that has potentials and is acting on the things he has said he wants to achieve, I think that guy deserves some credit. So that was another challenge I had, financial expectations. And I don't know whether I was unlucky, but I used to fall most often with ladies that are chic. They have a certain financial exigency. I want a guy who has a car. I want a guy who's maybe settled. I want a guy who takes me out all around, who provides me all my fancy things and all of that. It's a good thing, but I later on realized that you, the lady, should rightfully ditch out a guy who doesn't fall into that category. Because if you accept him into your life and maybe he's not meeting those expectations, you are going to hurt him, you're going to hurt yourself, and you're going to waste your time. So that's the third main challenge I faced. as on the side of ladies. The fourth and final, there are many, but I'll just talk about this last one is the aspect of religion and church. Religion and church. I've met major clashes in this particular domain, wherein the lady is either over listening to their spiritual father or has certain conceptions and biblical doctrines which are unfounded, and it rules her life to a point that you cannot influence her otherwise. Or it can get to a point where we can sit down and have a compromise about our belief systems. We can't agree on what we both believe about. It's now a my way or the highway thing. I'm from blah 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 church, and in blah 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 church, this is what we do. Well, I'm also from blah 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 church, and this is what we also do in blah 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 church. Can we compromise? The Bible says, "Can two people walk except they agree?" Believe we can always compromise. We can come on a middle ground on agreement that this is what we believe in. I don't have a problem going to my wife. I don't have a problem going to my wife's church. Yes, it's
Unless they
true.
agree.
I don't have a problem going to my wife's church. Yes, it's true. The woman goes to the man's church. But I too don't have a problem going to my wife's church. If I realize that based on our discussions, we will have a better achievement of purpose in my wife's church. And at the same time, I don't see why my wife should have a problem coming to my church, especially if she has realized that my church is a Bible believing church that can help her out in her purpose and can give her a fulfilled life. So I find myself in
Come with your
situations where
church.
I couldn't have those compromises with the ladies. And I was forced to let them go. There was a lady that was like, if you don't join Winners Chapel, I am not chapeling with you. So I was like, okay, go and chapel in your chapel. So those were some of the challenges that you know I faced.
The last point is so hilarious. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Okay, let me ask you this. You have chronicled some concerns, and I think women can take a cue from what you just said, because I would really, really I look at something like managing your expectations very well. I think that's a very critical part about relationship
Oh, network.
expectations. I don't know, it could be from several reasons or several sources or whatever they are picked up along the way. And what you talked about, financial, that's also another thing. It's a very, very key factor about this financial expectation thing. There are a lot of women that enter into a relationship expecting the man to
I
solve
I
all
can
of their
get you.
problems.
I can get you. Are you guys getting on Facebook? I can't get you. I seem not to get you. I'm not hearing you.
Really? Oh my God, what's happening? But I'm hearing you. I'm getting you loud and clear.
Are you getting me?
Oh,
Are you
really? Then
getting me?
it's not from my, is it from my end? No.
Are you getting me? Okay, can get her. Can you get me
Yes,
also?
I'm getting you.
Okay,
Yes.
increase your volume so that I'll get. Okay, so I think there's a small issue. So
Yes.
I'll listen from Facebook here, and then we'll continue conversation.
Are you getting me? Are you getting me?
Yes, I can get you now.
Okay, you can get me now.
Yes, I can get you.
Okay. What I'm saying is, What I'm saying is, you have enumerated some
I'm
very,
actually listening to you directly from the Facebook Live.
okay. What I'm saying is, there are some there are some expectations or things that you have enumerated in your discourse on the side of the woman that are very, very important, especially the aspect of financial expectations is very important, because when women enter into a relationship expecting a man to solve all their problems, and that's quite unrealistic. So when you are, for whatever reason, you walk into a relationship with a man, like you made a very important point about, can two walk together unless they agree? You have to be able to make some sort of sacrifice and some sort of compromises in a relationship. Okay, based on your experiences, what can you say that you have learned? Or what can you say are the things that you're not going to do in this particular relate? Okay, let me say you happen to get into a relationship with a woman. What are you going to do differently than what you did before? And what are your expectations? And even if you have expectations, how are you going to communicate those expectations to the person to understand from what place you're coming from? I think it's from King's side or his network.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry, I muted because there was a
An echo.
clash. A clash. Just
Okay.
a volume. Yes. So just let it one volume off. Yeah. So actually, sorry, I muted I muted myself because there was an interference
The
in the
sound.
communications.
Okay. Okay. Oh God, not today, not today. When I'm beginning to enjoy this discussion. Oh my God, this is not happening. But I think I'm enjoying the discuss so far. If you have enjoyed anything, I noted a couple of points in the comment section and some of the things that he's been saying. And I think they are really, really good. And they are really, as they are pointers when it comes to relationship and marriage and courtship and all those issues that come along with it. And I think we could take a cue from what he said, especially the aspect of managing your expectations. It's very, very important, because sometimes you can oh, thank you so much, Ma and Young. Thank you for watching from Dallas. I'm having a lot of challenges with my guest from Cameroon. The network is really crazy, but we have been having this very, very wonderful discussion, and I think it's very important. I think a lot of people can take a cue from it, especially those who are not married, both on the side of a man and on the side of a woman. And I think how you enter a relationship is very important, because I always tell people from my side, and when I counsel women or young girls who want to get into relationship, I ask them a certain question, just one question. And the question is, you want to get into a relationship with a man, what do you have to bring to the table? That is a question I always ask every young woman who wants to go into a relationship. If you want to go into a relationship with a man, you must not go into a relationship empty handed. You must have something to offer. Have something to offer. Let me put you in short. So, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
You getting me now?
Yeah, I can get you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, that's great. Sorry, I went on offline for some reason, but I'm here now.
Okay. Okay, so what are you going to do differently now if you happen to meet a woman you love? What are you going to do differently? What is going to be your expectation?
Please, can you come again? Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. I can hear you. Go on. Shoot. Okay, like I was saying before, I don't know what's happening to the network, but women, I always say this with all humility. The nature of a woman in the beginning is Genesis chapter 2, when God created a woman. Can you hear me now, King?
Yes, I can hear you. It dances a bit, but I hear you.
Okay, so tell me, if you're going to go into a relationship or if you meet a woman of your dreams, what are you going to do differently? What are going to be your expectations? And what are you going to do differently? I don't know what is happening to my network, whether it's me or it's him. So let me continue what I was saying. When he comes up, they will pick it from there. Um, like I was saying, when God created the woman, he created a woman to be a helpmeet. A helpmeet means somebody who comes to assist, to help, to push, to add vigor to something that is already existing. Because the man was and the woman were created, but a man was formed before the woman. And the man came and he was given a garden that could be like a work, a vision, or a dream. And he was asked to cultivate, to till, to dress it, to make it look good. And he had the responsibility of taking care of that work or that dream or that vision or that garden. And while at it, the creator saw that it was not good for man to be alone. He needed a helpmeet comparable to him, suitable to him, because Adam was mandated. Adam was mandated to name the animals. And they say every name that Adam named the animals, they bore the name that Adam called it. But God saw the way Adam was with the animals and knew that Adam needed a partner that will support what he already is doing, because it looked like he may not be able to do the work on his own. And I think that's how the woman came into existence. He said, I'm going to make him a helpmeet comparable, suitable for him. That means every man has a suitable helpmeet. Now, the woman comes by nature. A woman is a nurturer, a woman is an incubator, a woman is an enhancer. So, anytime you have a woman in the scene, it means that something is going to change. So, can you hear me, King? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. 5 from 5.
Okay, so we're talking about expectations. So, you tell me, not just your expectations. Oh my God. Not just your expectations, but what are you going to do differently if you get into a relationship now?
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do differently if I got into a relationship now. The main
Okay, I don't know what's happening, but let me continue what I was saying. When the woman was created, she was created to help and assist. But one of the fundamental things I would say is a woman would only assist when there is something she is coming to assist with. And that's very important. So if the man doesn't have a vision, doesn't have a dream, doesn't have something that he is working with, it makes it difficult for the woman to function, because a woman functions very well when she has resources, she has things to work with. So if a woman walks into a relationship with a man, she comes armed with wisdom. She comes armed with insight. She comes armed with I call myself a vision enhancer, a talent refiner, because that is who a woman is. If you give a woman a sperm, she will give you a baby after 9 months. If you give a woman money, she will give you a pot of soup. Women incubate, women nurture. Whatever you give to a woman multiplies. If you give a woman your vision, she multiplies it, she enhances it, she refines it. That is the strength of a woman. So I'm going to be talking to single sisters. I want you to hear me loud and clear.
I'm back. I'm back.
Okay, King, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so let's go. Expectations and what you would do differently.
Um, Honestly, I wouldn't put expectations on the forefront.
Okay.
I'll take you as a blank page, because expectations stifles a lot of things in relationships. If you ask my opinion,
Okay.
I'll take you the way you come. I will take my time to study you. I'll take my time to observe who you are as an individual, and I'll
Okay.
treat you as an individual.
Boudoir.
Uh, Yes, and the the next thing I'll do is I'll get you to the place of dialogue, honest dialogue. Let's talk it out.
Mm,
What has your past been like? What is your present like? What
mm,
is the thing you want to achieve in life? What do you need in a man?
mm,
How can we work together? We
mm,
need to dialogue,
mm.
because the Bible says the two shall become one. We
Yeah.
need to dialogue so that we become one in
One.
thinking.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't put expectations on the front. I would
Okay.
rather put myself in a position of understanding
And
who I'm dealing with, how to deal with that specific person as an individual,
mhm.
and to find out if I have what it takes to be able to live with that person.
Mm.
Then I can be sure I'm their husband or
Okay.
I'm their man.
Okay.
Now, the next thing, now, when it comes to what I'll do differently in relationships, is that I'm first of all going to use a lot of tact. By tact, I mean being able to deal with problems without spoiling the relationship.
Okay.
Ladies have ways in which they function. Women are from Venus and men are from Mars. Women have a way in which they function, a way in which they.
I love that statement. I've read that book. It's a beautiful book. Women are from Venus, men are from Mars. Whatever the network connection is, but I think we are getting there. Okay.
Yes. When I talk of tact, I mean always put myself on the position of knowing that, hey, I'm the leader here, and I don't need to prove that I'm the leader. I
Okay.
don't need to impose my leadership on you. I
Mm-hmm.
just need to be able to create an avenue where you can manifest. Create an avenue where you can liberate yourself, and then based on the way you express yourself, you open yourself up, the way you interact with me, I can then say, hey, I listen to you,
mm, 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 mm.
I think we can do this
That's
better, I think
powerful.
we can do this
Mm,
otherwise.
mm.
So that's what I'm going to do next. And also one thing, I'm going to really engage the power of the Holy Spirit. And I wish to say this:
Okay.
any relationship that doesn't start with God is difficult to keep nowadays, because we're living in a society where the devil is doing everything to destroy marriages.
Mm, mm,
Why? If you, if you kick the man up from the leadership of the family, there's no covering, there's no source, there's no guidance, there's no real leadership. I'm not saying
mm,
women can lead, no. I'm not saying women can guide, no. But they don't have this the wiring that a man has to sit
mm,
in that position of leadership in the home.
mm, mm,
Now, when you remove that, both the woman and the children become vulnerable.
mm,
And when they become vulnerable, you can easily have a child that becomes delinquent, or a woman that finds herself in a vulnerable position where she's exposed to so many things.
mm, mm,
So if I'm getting into a relationship, I need to bring God to intervene, because the wiles and the tricks of the enemy are sometimes so subtle that it
mm,
takes only the power of God, or
mm,
the power of the Supreme One. If somebody thinks I'm religious, the power of the Supreme One to keep that marriage together. The
mm.
Bible says that a threefold cord cannot be easily
Easily be
broken.
broken.
Three people will always do better than what two people can do. The
Mm,
Holy Spirit comes as an arbitrary.
mm,
Yes.
mm,
The Holy Spirit comes as an arbitrary between the two of you to mediate and bring peace.
mm,
So I will engage the power of the Holy Spirit to keep my marriage together. I will not depend too much on my intellect, even though my intellect will come in at some point.
mm,
But before I engage my intellect, I need to first of all engage a spiritual force
mm,
that is going to constrain both me and my spouse to be
mm,
able to be subdued to a superior power
mm,
that the
mm.
enemy or the evil one cannot penetrate into my marriage.
Okay. Okay, so let me ask this. As a Christian, as a believer, let's assume that you don't get the woman of your dream is not a Christian. What's going to be your take? What's your position?
The woman of my dream is not what?
I said, what if the woman, you meet a woman, you love her, but she's not born again? What is
Okay.
going to be your take? So, are you of the opinion that if you're not born again, it's nada, or if you're not born again, we have no business? Like the Bible says, what has light got to do with darkness, and what has God got to do with Belial? So, are you in that position? Is that what your take is?
Well, it's true that it's always preferable to choose from the flock of God. It's true that it's always true to pick from, one of you, your kind, which is in church. But my question is, when Jesus came, did he come for those in the light, or he came for those in the darkness?
Mm,
Jesus came for those in the darkness.
mm, 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 mm,
Challenges we're having in the church environment is
mm,
that all the major challenges we're having in the church environment is that we all have found the light. Everybody's shining their light in church, and people are staying in darkness outside.
mm,
If I
mm,
meet a girl that is an unbeliever and I love that girl and I have some level of conviction that she can become my wife, I'll be patient with her,
mm, mm,
slowly deconstruct what she knows,
mm, mm,
slowly make her to discover the Bible, make her to discover God, make her to discover the Christian norms slowly.
mm, 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 mm. Wow. I know. I
By
remember when
herself. I will still
I
be
gave.
patient.
Okay. I
Okay.
remember when I gave
So
my life to Christ. There was something they call convert and marry. So you want to do convert and marry?
You say what?
I say, I remember when I gave my life to Christ, there was something called convert and marry. Is that what you want to do? Convert and marry?
Well, if I find myself in that situation, I'll convert and marry. And I really personally, well, others see a fault in that, but I personally don't see a fault in that, because at the end of the day, it's about the person's personality. Yes, the Holy Spirit transforms people. But what is your personality? What is your upbringing? What is your background? What is your belief system? Okay, more move Bible. What is your belief system? Your basic human belief systems. Because I'm sorry to say this, I've met Christian ladies. Jesus is Lord to the glory of the Father. Their mindsets, their reasoning faculty, the way they are thinking. Honestly, I'm like, where are you coming from? So you see people who have spent all their time reading the Bible and they have not built their social life. They have not worked on their character. They have not built their personality. The only thing they can do is pray and quote scripture. But when you interact with them as a human being, you're like, what is the problem with you? So what matters is the person. Is the person even willing to be a good?
Wow. I think I'm loving this discussion. The enemy wants to shortchange me with this network, but it will not work. We die here. We will finish this matter today. Like what he was a king was saying before he went offline. I think that's a very important aspect of relationship, because even as a Christian sister,
So
there
I
are
don't
so
have a
many
problem
things you can do
with convert and
apart from
marry.
that.
If it
Okay.
gets to the point of convert and marry, I'll convert and marry.
Okay, let me ask this
I don't
one.
know if I'm being heard.
I think, yeah, you're being heard. I think this is a very deep question I want to ask. We have a lot of single sisters in the church, and I think what you just spoke about could be one of the reasons why our sisters are not married. I beg to differ, but I'm just asking that, why do you think that so many of our sisters are still unmarried, even though they are getting to the ages of 35 and 40? What could be some of the reasons why they are still not married? I'm sure the
Okay,
network.
you okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't get you well.
I'm saying that we have, like the thing you just talked about, meeting Christian sisters, and some of them don't really have interpersonal skills. They don't really have social skills. All they know about is the Bible and all that. What I want to know, what I want to know is, we have so many single sisters in the church. What could be the reason why most of them are unmarried? I beg to differ. What you said could be part of why they are not married, and what other reason do you think they are not married? As such, like some of them are not married. What are some of the contributing factors? So, can you hear me?
Okay, I think the major contributing factor to yes, I can hear you 5 from 5. I don't know if I'm being heard.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So sorry, I was trying to make sure that I'm being heard. So I think one of the major contributing factor is that most often what happens is that some sisters remain single in the church because they fail to understand that life is a balance. There is a balance in life. One thing I learned from my professional life is something they call work-life balance. You're supposed to be able to have a balance between your relationship with God, your relationship with man, your relationship with institutions, your relationship with nature. So what most often happens with sisters in the church is that they don't go into
Oh
learn
Lord,
from
help me.
society. They don't go to older women to get mentorship,
Mm,
to sit down and be taught by some of those mothers who have succeeded in marriage.
mm,
They don't seek to do personal research about
mm,
certain things they are ignorant about.
mm,
They don't take the time to understand how men think as well. In the
mm.
same way, us men are struggling to understand how women
How
think.
women think.
Women should also be trying to understand how men think. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Mm, 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 mm. Wow, amazing. I'm enjoying this discussion. If you're watching us, I hope you're getting some cues from this discussion because it's something that a lot of people don't talk about. And in the Fixer Show, we say it as it is. We put everything bare on the table. And I want my sisters, my single sisters or single Christian sisters to listen. I'm going to edit the video. I'm not going to post it directly on Facebook now. When I get off, I'll edit it. I take out the parts that are not too good so that I can repost it after the editing. So you're going to enjoy it very, very well. So, one of the things that he's saying, and I think is very important, is that we have to be able to develop ourselves as Christian women. We have to be, because one of the things I have done in my life is I am an avid reader. Growing up in my house, you must read. I congratulate Ma and Young for that, and my dad as well. I remember when we're growing up, you were not allowed to speak pidgin, and we those days they used to have this Nigerian newspaper like Ikebe Super. We used to have Pajimo, Miss Pepie. I realized we used to have those papers, and my mom would take them, my dad would take them, and say things like, if you want to be a woman that would command English, you want to be somebody that will command good language, good command of English, you can't be reading junk. You have to read things that will boost your intellect. So shoot, you can go on. I'm with you.
Okay. Uh, I don't know what's wrong with the connection today, but I keep going off.
The devil is a liar.
So
We will finish discussing this matter today.
that's basic. That's basically a take. It's just a lack of balance to me. It's just a lack of balance. They put in they take the issues of God or religion actually, so they take it so categorically that they fail to understand that there is a balance. You need to, sometimes they want to deal with social aspects spiritually. I want to then deal with spiritual issues socially, and they fail to understand that there are some natural ways in which they find themselves in a situation where they want to break principles, or it's complex. Honestly, it's a complex thing that we may necessarily need to take a whole life on its own just to talk about.
Talk about it. Okay. Okay. Because I think it's important because a lot of people are not married, both men and women, both of the divides. And I hear a lot of things like men say things like, "Oh, women nowadays they don't want to marry. All they are interested in is money." When you meet a woman, everything she's interested in is money, how much you have in your bank account, what you can offer, and if they sense or they see that you don't have money, they would leave you high and dry. Nobody wants to. Those days our parents could stick it out. Like my mom has been married for 45 good years to my dad, and they are still up and running and doing. And when we look at such relationships and such marriages, yes, they had their ups and downs. Yes, they had their challenges, but they stuck together because probably, I don't know, at that time there was no social media and so many things were not happening at that time. So probably it could have warranted them to stay in a relationship for that long. But what I want to find out is the assertion true that women only want money in a relationship, or there's nothing else a woman wants in a relationship?
Are you getting me?
Yes,
Sorry, I lost you at some point. You were talking about your parents at the time and stuff.
yeah, I was saying that probably those times we didn't have social media. So probably we can say that because we didn't have social media or the advent of technology, marriages had little they had little distractions or little things that can tear a man and a woman apart so they could stay longer. But now there is this competition, there is this social media. People want to compete, people want to be like people want to achieve, they want to look like others, they want to do and do and do. Do you think that could be a contributing factor why some women are not married? Or that could be a reason, yeah.
I will agree with you that is a major contributing.
Okay. Mm, 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 mm.
Jerks,
Wow.
but the
I'm learning so
African,
much today.
uh, the,
I wish I could redo this session. Oh my God. Because I'm getting some valuable insights. And the reason why I'm pushing through with some of these questions is for women, the single women, the women who are not married, the women who want to settle down. It's not like the opinion, it's not like what he's saying, it's a general opinion. But we are trying to pick cues so that you, as a single lady, as a single man, you will look at yourself and see where you fall short. Because I am of the opinion that a woman should educate herself. Yeah, I'm listening. You could go on. Yeah, you. Yeah, you are being heard. You can go on. Okay. Oh my God. This is not happening to me. Not today. Not today. Like I was saying, I am not, I don't, because I am a relationship mechanic as well. Not everybody's saying therapy. So I'm a relationship mechanic. We fix things. And one of the things I counsel young ladies is that I, growing up, I had that opportunity, I had that privilege to have educated parents. I had the opportunity to have parents that nurtured us, that that gave us the kind of education that pushed us to the level that we got to. But one of the things I think that I have done for myself is also to go into personal development, to develop my character, to develop my competence as a person. And that's very important because any relationship I enter today, I'm very valuable. I say it, I am ten people in one. If I get enter your life, I'm like 10 people. Okay, so King, you are on. Can you hear me?
yes. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear.
Okay. Should. Oh, this network of today. So definitely, because I like self-educated myself. There are so many things I learned. And one of the things you have to understand is that this knowledge we're talking about is accessible. Unlike those days where we need to go to libraries. I'm not saying libraries, we don't go there, but we go there. Now we have books in soft copies. What is your problem? I have like 200 books on my phone, books on different things, on finance, on vision, on dreams, on wealth, on whatever it is. We have the material for you to blend with your Bible, because I don't believe that the Bible is the only book that you should be reading. There are other books that you can read to develop yourself. We have authors out there that have been inspired by God to write materials that are going to help you. So you can't end at the place where you're studying only the Bible. Now we have gotten to the age of digitalization. We have the Google, that is like a global information bank where you can get information from Google. You can go to YouTube. We even have videos. It's now a woman cannot say she can't cook. That means there's something wrong with you. If you go on YouTube, you go on Instagram, we have people that are food bloggers. They can give you. I have so many of them. I follow Zilicious Food. I follow Sisi Yemi blog. I follow Ife's Kitchen. There's this Cameroon lady, preciouscore.com, Precious Kitchen. And I have this other lady too. I've forgotten her name, but she's married to a classmate of mine, Fombong Fokwa, the wife. I can't remember her name, her blog. They have people who are doing all those things. So you can't complain. So, King, you're on. I can hear you could talk.
Yeah, I can. I'm back on. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So you can go with your submission. We are talking about reasons why we think women may not be married in the church. We are just like asking why some of the reasons why women may not, single sisters in the church, may not be married or finding it difficult to marry. So we are just talking about that.
Sorry. Can you come again?
Points in the discussion, and I was talking about we having single sisters that are not married in the church. And some of the reasons you put forward, like expectations, financial expectations, and a whole lot of other things that you think that could be reasons why women are not married. So I'm just looking at what are the possible reasons, or what do you think women can do to put themselves in a position where, I don't know how to put it, not to sound very offensive. I don't know what a woman can do to develop herself as a person. Do you understand? So that she will be that helpmeet that a man wants, or a man wants to be with.
Okay. If you can hear me, then I'll move on.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I think it all starts first by deciding to become a wife, because the Bible says that he that finds a wife, not he that finds a woman or he that finds a girl. You have to first of all decide to become a wife. Know who is a wife, what a wife does, what are the requirements for wife, and then build yourself to become that. If you have not decided in your head, you will not become it.
Mm, mm, mm.
Exposure are two combinations that can transform you to anything. I became a general manager in 2016 without any management training, but I succeeded to build the company to the
Wow.
best possible. before I left,
Amazing.
because I chose to be humble and I
We have
exposed myself to what it takes to become a general manager. In the same way, if a lady humbles herself and exposes herself to meet up the requirements of a great wife, because most often you get who you are. If you are a great wife, there are very slim chances you will get a jerk for a husband, because you will attract great husbands to you, or what they call husband material to you. So you need to be humble and expose yourself to learn and develop your skills and capacities in what makes you become a great wife. The third thing is you need to be mentored by somebody who has already been a good wife, and most especially in gotten to her old age or long time in marriage, because I always tell people that mentorship is the biggest shortcut to reach any destination in your life. Have a mentor, have a woman, preferably an elderly woman who maybe has a successful marriage and raised children, to be a mentor to you, to teach you some of these things, to tell you, to guide you, to tell you how to go about it. When you sit under such a woman, she's
wow.
going to transmit to you
This
things
network knows that we are doing some very valuable discussion today, and they have decided to want to mess up my live show. But it's all good. And I think I'm liking what King is saying. And the reason why I'm pushing to that level is because I want women to listen. Because sometimes we are always like, oh, we don't know what men want. We don't know what men want. That is why I want to give men the opportunity to be talking on the show. Let them come out and say their own side of the story. And the women too would come out and say their own side of the story, or what they are expecting, or what they think could be the issue. Because I, for one, I believe so strong that every woman has to develop herself to be an asset to any man. That's the first thing. An asset is something that has value, and a liability is something that takes out value. And you have a lot of women that are liabilities, they are not assets. And with men, I would even want a man who would want to develop my capacity as a woman. I would want a man who would tell me, I want to further your education. Even if the man doesn't give me physical cash, so long as this man can improve my life, I'm in for it. So, women, hear me. It's not always about the money. It's not always about the money. Listen to me. It's not about the wig, the human hair, the Brazilian hair. And Mr. Emmanuel Olumide say, you are carrying the Brazilian hair on the coconut head. Your head is empty. There's nothing inside. You don't know anything. When you can't even sustain a reasonable conversation with a man. When you go and the man says, I want to take you out to dinner, and the man starts talking about football, he starts talking about medical, he talks about finances, he talks about saving, he asks you, what is your 10-year plan? What is your 5-year plan? What are your aspirations? What are your goals? You don't have anything. You don't know what to say. I remember I have this friend. We met at the mall. I'm not going to call his name. I was having this very nice bag that my mom, I think it's my mom that got to get me that bag from Texas. It had this boy kind of feel, and this young man chased me in the mall. And when he caught up with me, he said, "Oh, I love your bag. I want us to be friends." I said, "Oh, why not?" And there was a time he said, I want to take you out. I want us to go somewhere. I said, okay, where do you want to take me to? So we went, I'm sure it was Tante Marie at the Accra Mall when Tante Marie was there. And we had our meeting. When we started to talk, every discussion, whatever it is we're talking, I kept giving an input. I kept talking. I kept contributing. I kept giving what I thought. I kept giving my opinion about the issues that were being discussed. And I saw this guy just stop eating, put down his cutlery, and he was just watching me. And I was wondering why he was watching me. He said, since I came back from abroad, I've been meeting women in Ghana, but this is the first time I'm really able to have a conversation with a woman. So you're on, King.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can continue. Oh my God, he's gone off again. Connection. And that kind of touched me. I'm like, okay, so the women you have been meeting, what kind of women? He said, oh, fried rice and coke women. And I laughed. It wasn't funny at the time he said it because I am one of those women that believes in empowering women. I believe that women should be up in their game in terms of their intellectual knowledge. And I'm very intellectually sound that I even know about football. Sometimes when people talk Liverpool, they talk about Manchester United, they talk about Serie A, they talk about Spanish La Liga, they talk about UEFA Champions League, things that women normally will not like. I would learn, I would study because I want to be able to be relevant. I want to be able to, you have to come to a point where your life is holistic. Every part that no, you may not know everything, but at least know something. Even when there are some women that don't know that the president of America is Joe Biden, they still think it's Donald Trump. When you ask them who is the president of America, they don't know. They don't even know that there's war in Ukraine. They don't know the reason why there's war in Ukraine. They don't find out. Immediately the war started, I started finding out. They said Ukraine wanted to be a part of NATO. I didn't know what NATO was. I went to check. What is NATO? What are the countries that make up NATO? Why is Russia fighting Ukraine? Why is there trouble? Why is there a situation? Why is that the political landscape? I know about Nigerian political landscape. I study about Ghanaian political landscape. I study about Cameroonian political landscape. I'm not a politician, but I know I can contribute in a conversation when I am at it. I should not be that woman that they will tell me as a fried rice and coke lady, a lady that is looking for hair, a lady that wants to wear Brazilian hair and hold nails. You won't be of any use to a man if you are not able to develop yourself mentally and intellectually. Women, I'm talking to you. I want you to listen to me. You have to be able to develop yourself. We have the resources. We have what it takes to be that woman. Don't be a trophy girlfriend or a trophy fiance or a trophy wife, because we have a lot of women that are trophy wives. They are just there in the house. They are trophy wives. They don't know anything because and they are meant to that are done their best to try to empower them. They just don't want to be empowered. Listen to me, single women. There are men that may not have money, physical cash, but they have a vision. They have a dream. They say you don't study a man, you study his vision. Where is this man going to be? That's why Steve Harvey has that book. I've forgotten the title of his book. He even did a movie out of it. And I expect that women have to go beyond physicality. They have to go beyond all the superficial things that we are seeing that is happening. Social media is fake. You can't use your relationship and measure it with what is happening on social media. It's fake. It doesn't exist. That's why they call it a Facebook. It's only your face. That's what you see. You don't see reality. The fact that that lady, the boyfriend or the husband bought her a Mercedes Maybach. You want your husband to buy you a Mercedes Maybach. You want your fiance to take you to Dubai. You want your this, but that your fiance is saving money to probably build a house. He's saving money to start a business. When he wants to say, "Oh, honey, I'm saving money," say, "Who business app? Who this?" You be cheeky because you're looking for a man who is going to give you what you can eat today, and you'll be hungry tomorrow. Because we have to get to that point where we are not termed fried rice and coke ladies. That a man will sit with you and he would want to sit with you. He will want to interact with you. I'm not, it's not like I'm being proud. There is no place I have entered in Ghana, for those who know me, they will tell you, if I stand and talk, I make a statement. That's it. I make a statement, and that is years of studying, years of research. I do it a lot. I'm a friend of the internet. I do it a lot. I'm a friend of the internet. I study. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Google. You just need to say a word. You say something I don't understand, I take my phone, I search for it. I studied law, and that also gives me an edge because, as a lawyer or as a law person, your intellect is built to be analytic. You are built to be critical. You are built to look at things from a different perspective. And it also works on your vocabulary, on your diction, on your language. That is why lawyers have a command of the English language, because that is how we are being trained to be able to talk and articulate ourselves very well. But that should not only be something that lawyers could do or only lawyers can do. You, as a woman, have to make it as a, I don't know how to say, to develop yourself. Single ladies, if the marriage is not coming, focus on your purpose. What is your purpose? You have to discover your purpose. You have to know your calling so that you can invest in it, so that you can become good at it. What that job, you have to become good at it. Whatever it is you're doing, you have to become good at it. You have to be at a place where when you talk, you stand somewhere and talk, you carry yourself well. You communicate with confidence. You communicate with class. You understand? So I love this discussion with King, though the network was disturbing. But I picked up a couple of cues from what he said, because women have to understand that the dynamics have changed. It is not business as usual. It is business unusual. Nobody is going to take responsibility for your personal development. Nobody. Your personal development is your responsibility. You have to invest in books. You have to reinvest in messages. You have to he was talking about mentorship. Mentorship is very important. Coaching is very important. There are people who say, oh, I can't pay a coach, I can't pay a mentor. It's up to you. Because if you have to move from point A to point B, you need to make yourself an asset. That if a man knows that he's bringing you into his life, you are not a liability. You are not just coming to take. You are not coming that he should solve all your problems, to pay your younger brother's school fees, pay school fees for your sister, take care of your own mother, take care of your father. You make it that sometimes even women even come into, they meet a man for the first time, they already start making demands. Oh, my rent is due. I need credit recharge card. Some things that I don't know. You're pettiness. And a man just looks at you, and after that, he doesn't call you. You want to go on a date, you carry your friends. Who does that in this 21st century? Somebody tells you, a man you meet, say, please, I would like to have dinner with you. I want us to go for breakfast. I want us to go for lunch. As soon as place, you go and carry your friends and say they are your backup security. You can tell your friends, just be around. You don't need to drag them to the date. The man wants to have time with you because he wants to get to know you. You should be able to explain yourself to the man. You should be able to explain your vision, your mission. You have to explain all those things. That means you have to actually know it. You have to know who you are. So if a man comes to talk to you, you have to know what you're about. There are even times you may not even have a work. You may not even have a job, and you are still looking for work, but you will not sound desperate. You will not sound like, oh, he's the Messiah coming to deliver you from all your problems. That's why some women get abused in relationships. That's why that's why you will hear something that, oh, if I do this to you, where are you going to go to? You don't have anybody. It's only me you have. Because you have not developed yourself. It takes courage. If you see an empowered woman, you see a woman that is taking care of herself, she can't take that bullshit. She won't take it. She would leave. Though there are many educated women that still stay, but that's not the reason. They're not staying because they cannot live financially. They are staying for whatever reason they are staying. But be that woman that you are on your feet. You make a statement. The man knows where you're coming from. He knows he can't mess with you. He knows it is to his advantage, him having you in his life, not the other way around. But how do you achieve that? Is by personal development. So you have the spiritual development, you have the personal relation development, you have the educational, you have the mental. All that, it makes you a wholesome woman. So any woman that is around me, I tell you, there is no person that meets me, you don't learn something. I must cue you in. I must show you something. I must tell you. I have people who tell me, oh, mommy, you are my mentor. Mommy, you are my coach. I know that I'm a coach. I know that I'm a mentor. I have what it takes to coach. I have what it takes to mentor because I've walked that path and I've understood how the dynamics work. So on that note, the network is an issue, so my guest is not available. So I've gone past my time. I wanted to do 1 hour 30 minutes, but I've gone past my time. I want to thank everybody that joined in this particular live discussion. I pray and hope that you have learned something. I pray some other time I get to bring King, may not now, but probably some other time. I want to thank you so much. You can follow us on our I want you to follow us on our social media platform. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, that was the last part uh, before the network. I wanted to ask him also about whether at any time in his life he's depressed or he's feeling depressed because he doesn't have a wife or he's not at that place, the goals that he has set for himself and the network. I hope to bring King some other time for a part two of this particular this thing. I didn't so much delve into his personal story, of which we are going to do that next time. I'm going to let him talk about his personal story. Okay, he's still coming on. Yeah, King.
Hello, are you
I was
getting
just,
me?
I'm getting you.
The network has dealt with us today, seriously.
I know. Okay, I was just saying, I was thinking we could probably have a part two of our discussion because I wanted to get into a bit of because of what I talk about is mostly people depression and depressive situations. So I would have wanted to touch a bit on whether at some point you were depressed in your relationships or not getting what you want in your relationship. Was it causing you to go into anxiety, into stress and depression? I thought I would also bring that to the fore.
Okay, yeah. If you're getting me well, then I'll answer. I actually got to depression sometimes. Not getting what I want out from a relationship. I got into depression sometimes, um, because at some point I felt like, okay, I don't deserve what I desire,
Yeah.
because anytime I try to get what I desire, I end up either getting heartbroken or not achieving it.
Mm,
Second thing is, I got into depression at some point because I'd put in so much energy,
mm,
using what I thought was the best arm or the best weapon to get what I want, and ended up still not having what I wanted.
mm,
So those were the things
mm,
that brought me to a place of depression. And it was deceptive to me because, at some point, the depression was much more of a spiritual stiflement
mm,
that was out to attack my self-esteem and prevent me from moving forward to learn, to
mm.
try again, and to finally identify what I really want.
Want
Because
okay.
sometimes you may be going in for what you is really not the best for you,
Mm,
and
mm,
the laws of nature and God doesn't permit you to end up with that person. But that doesn't
mm,
mean that you're a bad person, or doesn't
mm,
mean that you are not enough, or doesn't
mm,
mean that you are not capable.
mm,
So that was the main thing I learned from the depressions.
mm, 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 mm. Wow. Amazing. Amazing.
Just be you
Mm,
being
mm, mm, mm,
repositioned in the right
mm,
place.
mm, mm,
I
mm.
don't know if I'm still being heard.
Yes, you're being heard 5 on 5. Mhm. You're being heard. Oh, he's gone off. Wow. 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 Oh, this depression is real. I tell people depression is real. Very, very real. And you know, when men are depressed, it can cause them to go to extremes. Because there are some men that have really gone into extremes. Yeah, yeah, on.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Continue.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, the line went off again.
Okay.
Um, so in the course of my depression, I found myself in a place where I really couldn't talk. I really couldn't open myself up to anybody.
Mm,
I cocked it up, and it was really really toxic.
mm,
It was toxic to the point where I remember I talked with Pastor for Tabifor,
mm,
and that was very liberating to me.
mm, mm.
It really helped me to get out of my depression. It helped me to look at things from a different perspective,
Perspective.
you know, to rebuild my self-confidence, to gather my energy again and all of that. So yeah, that was my experience with depression, not getting what I wanted out of relationships.
Mm. Because I'm an advocate of because I said I'm going to have a vent machine. I'm an advocate of support systems. I'm an advocate of having somebody you can talk to and somebody you can confide in, exactly, somebody you can be vulnerable to. And I think Pastor Tebo played that major role to listen to you at that point of vulnerability. And I like what you said. You said it's liberating. It's liberating because there's something liberating about sharing, about opening up. Because depression seems to attack self esteem, self confidence, and it brings you very low to make you think like you're not worth, like what you said, you don't deserve like what you wanted. And it puts you in that place. And I like what you said about the support system. That's key. And I always encourage people to have a support system so that when you are in that situation, you can always have somewhere to fall back, somewhere you can go back to and say, oh, my brother, my sister, it is really bad. This is what I'm going through. And the person is not going to judge you, because I know it's a place of judgment that causes men not to talk. So do you think that's one of the reasons where men don't talk?
Hello?
I'm saying that when a man
Yes,
goes into depression, right, and it's
yes.
difficult for him to talk, why do you think is a reason why a man would not want to talk, but he want to cock up his emotions to the point of probably
Because they are going to think that you are weak. Society will call you weak for talking. Society will call you weak. Society will think you're not man enough. You know, we have this construct in society that is like a man is supposed to be strong, he's
mm,
supposed to be tough. It's true, yes. Men by nature, they're fixers. They are solution providers. As a leader, they don't want to show any form of weakness.
mm,
So what happens is that when a man gets to that point, his whole mind is, how do I get out of this? How do I fix this? How
mm,
do I stand up to my position as a leader?
mm,
So that puts him in a position where he doesn't want to speak out. He wants to process in and bring out of him, what he is made of.
mm.
But it doesn't always work like that.
That. Mm,
It doesn't always work like that. At some point, you need to say, I need help.
mm,
No person is an island. You need to admit to the fact that you need help. And
mm,
that is why you may have a gift, but God did not give you another gift. He put
mm,
it in another human being, because
mm,
human beings are meant to collaborate and
mm,
commune with one another.
mm, mm,
So sometimes, as you said, we need support groups.
mm,
Now, the second main thing that makes men not to talk is
mm,
the reaction
mm,
they get when they speak,
mm,
either to women or even to some men.
mm.
Sometimes they just make you look stupid
Stupid.
for
Wow.
not, yes, they make you look stupid for admitting that that is what you're going through, or that is
Mm,
what you're struggling from. They are
mm.
like, yeah, you can get over it. This thing,
Well, yes.
maybe you're trying to cry out foul,
Mm,
like saying this person is at fault. But the person listening to you is trying to make you feel like you are the one that is at fault. You are
mm,
the one that has a problem.
mm,
It cocks you up. It shuts you
mm,
down. You
mm,
you will not want to talk next time.
mm, mm,
And at some point, you feel like you are never right. Even when you're right, you feel like,
mm, mm,
yeah. So that's what happens to some of us men.
mm,
Sometimes, sometimes it's just the fact that you know that you cannot win. You
mm,
really cannot win, because when there will be a fault, if you react towards the lady, they were like you assaulted her. If you don't
mm,
do anything, the lady takes advantage and continues doing it.
mm,
If maybe you get to some certain point of reaction, you can be locked up by the police. Nobody will listen to you. They'll be
mm,
like, you're the man. The man is stronger. The man assaulted the lady.
mm,
You know, all these different constructs that we have out there.
mm,
It makes men to hide. It makes
mm,
men to shut down.
mm, mm,
They even avoid confrontation.
mm,
Sometimes a woman would, like, for example, if a woman slaps a man and the man reacts, they call it assault.
mm, mm, mm,
They call it assault, like the man assaulted the man, but the woman. But if the woman slaps them, but they don't realize that when a woman slaps the man, right? It's a woman that slapped the man. The man is not supposed to react.
mm, mm, mm. Wow. Powerful. I am getting some value today.
You
That's
are
why
a
I want
man.
men to talk. I want to hear
Yes,
men
yes,
talking. Mhm.
yes. You see men get to domestic violence and they cannot talk because they were like, you can be to a big hole you, but it's you. You're like, if I slap this woman and she dies, because me, for example, I'm huge and naturally strong. If I knock a woman, she can fall off.
Mm,
And I will not react to that. If you slap me, I'll walk away.
mm,
But now it may continue because the lady is like, he cannot do me anything.
mhm, mhm,
So
mhm,
those are some of the things that corners us as men,
mm,
and we cock up, and
mm,
that's why you realize that all of a sudden a very beautiful couple, a sudden divorce just comes because the man cannot really talk to anybody. That is
mm,
why sometimes you hear a man has just committed a crime of passion.
mm,
You guys don't see the build up.
mm,
You guys see the results. Just like a plant that has been taking roots. You guys don't see how deep the roots went. You guys just see the fruit that is bearing.
mm,
So it's a complex corner for us men.
mm.
Complex.
Like what you said, the issue you said about domestic violence. Do you know it's something that you can't go and tell your friend that you have been assaulted by your wife? It won't make any sense. So nobody will even believe you. How
Yeah,
can you go and tell a
of
you say
course it
a oh
wouldn't.
you mean for tell me saying God he beat you? That you don't and I know with that it kind of puts men in a corner, yes, but still it accounts for the reasons why men commit suicide more than women when they go into depression. I still think I am of the opinion that society doesn't matter. I don't even know whose name is society. Who is called society, King? Society, who is society? Because if we want to look at society, we'll be losing good people. And one of the reasons why I started this show is for people to vent. We are tired of losing good people. We are tired of letting those people go and die, and they don't have the kind of support they need. We need men to be talking. Men have to build relationships amongst themselves. It may be difficult for a man to talk to a woman, but I have men who talk to me, so it's okay. But you have, as a man, you have to be intentional about building your own relationships amongst yourself, whether it's a mentor, it's a coach, it's an accountability partner. I think it's about time you do that. You understand what I'm saying? Men have
Yes,
to
I
be
understand.
able, yes, you I don't want to leave it to society, because nobody, when something happens to that man and he passes on, that man has a wife, he has children behind him, and the family suffers because the man is not there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we need men to talk more. So I'm always encouraging men to come to the show and talk. Let's discuss. These are some of the issues that men are facing, and think these are some of the issues that we need to address in terms of men talking. Men have to talk. That's my opinion. You understand?
I
I'm,
think,
I'm, I'm a firm believer of that. So how can we
yeah,
get more men to talk? That's what I'm interested in.
I think one of the major ways we can get men to talk is, I personally feel concerned by what you're saying now, because I think one of the major things that is going to make men to talk is for one or two men to to take the forefront and create an environment where only men can meet and talk. Because men, generally what happens is that men are not very comfortable about talking their issues with women, around women.
mm, mm, mm,
I am convinced that if I and a few men create an avenue where men can sit down and discuss men issues, is going to be a starting point.
mm, 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 mm. That sounds good. I like that. Mm, mm,
Men are
mm,
stubborn. Yes, they don't like all these relationship counseling things, these
mm,
conferences, and say, yes, that's
mhm,
true. But somebody has to take the bold step to start it.
mm, mm,
And I believe that if I meet one, two, three, four people and start an avenue where men can actually come and talk, like express themselves,
mm,
when the other men will start discovering that such a platform exists, they will start coming into it. As
mm,
especially if they realize that it's an all men's gathering.
mm, mm,
Because men talk, men actually talk, but they talk with another man
mm,
who can
mm,
listen. They
mm,
actually talk, but they talk only amongst themselves. They
mm,
don't talk with the woman.
mm,
Because the tendency is that when they talk with the woman, the woman wants to justify herself.
mm,
The woman may not even accept her faults, or the woman may just make him look ridiculous. And men really hate that.
mm,
They really don't like it. A
mm,
man loathes when you make him small. A
mm,
man can crush you with every blood he has the
mm,
moment he realizes you're making him small.
mm,
A man can go to any extreme to ridicule you the
mm,
moment he realizes that you have the capacity to attack his ego.
mm,
Most ladies don't understand that.
mm,
So men don't talk to women, they talk to men. And when they talk to men and they get their solutions, they come and execute that solution on you, the woman.
mm, mm,
Not necessarily bad. Most of them is good. So we need to create avenues where men talk with themselves.
mm,
When the men would have talked with themselves to a certain level, it will get to a point where the men would have built up. It's a culture. It's a
mm,
culture that is not existing. So you
mm.
need to first of all build the
Build it.
culture.
Mm, mm,
When you have built the culture, the men now have now the assurance to
mm,
be able to talk in platforms where women are found.
mm, 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 mm. That's powerful. I think I like that. I like that. Oh, thank you so much. So much for coming. Is this network? Oh, I would have asked you
This
dangerous
networking is
questions.
four-man hand, oh, forehand, very badly.
But I thank you so much, King. I've learned a lot. I'm telling you, you don't know what the things you have said to me today on this platform, that if anybody would take time to listen, it would help the person, because you have said some very deep truths. And the reason why I kept pushing on the part of the woman is because I wanted us to look at it from your lenses, the lens of a man, because we will keep looking at it from a lens of a woman and we don't look at it from the lens of a man. So me, most of the things that you said, I kind of agree with what the things you said about women building up themselves. And I always tell women, you have to be an asset and not a liability. I believe so strong about women becoming assets to a man. So when a man comes to you, you are an asset. An asset is something that adds value. You don't meet a man. A man knows that if I have you by me, I am sure that I have something good. That's why they say, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtaineth favor. And I asked the person, what are you bringing to the table? Like you talked about that scripture. So I believe so strong that you have said some very nice and very apt things that I think single women can take a cue from that. And also single men can take a cue from that. Those who are still in your situation that are not married. So when do I look forward to when you are getting married? You know, your marriage will bring me to Cameroon. King. He's just looking. Soon. Okay. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to get married soon,
Soon.
just very
Oh,
soon.
thank you.
Before you can know it, I will be married, very married.
Amen. I like that. So thank you so much for coming to the Fixers show. I thank you so much for your contribution. I thank you. Though the network messed up, but we thank God for everything. I'm happy with the discussion so far. I know I'm going to bring you again on the platform the whole of this month. I'm going to be talking to
Yeah.
men of God, itinerant
Yeah.
ministers. I know you are also like an itinerant minister. You're not into full-time ministry,
Yeah.
but you are an itinerant minister. So we are going to be looking at men of God and the battle. Okay, people of God. Let me not say men of God. When I say men of God, it could be subjective. And people of God or God's
Yeah.
servants and the
Yeah.
battle with depression. So I'm going to be I'll be talking to a couple of pastors, women and men, to glean some ideas. And I think within that setup, I'll still have to bring you in as a man of God to share from the spiritual standpoint how if men of God actually battle with depression, what happens that they battle with depression, what are some of the reasons why servants of God actually be having anxiety and depression. So thank you so much for coming. This is the Fixers Show. My name is Deborah Dodoche, and I am your delectable host all the way from Accra, Ghana. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Fixers Show, and follow us as well on Facebook. If you're not part of the Fixers Show page, just follow, share the link. Definitely this particular show, I'm not going to put it back live for now. I'm going to delete the live, and I'm going to edit it, take out the parts where we're talking, then I'll do the rest. So it is goodbye from my end in Accra, Ghana. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next episode. Good night from Ghana. Thank you so